Hello. Today I'm going to share with you my learnings around the incredible connection between music and literacy skills. I did my research as this was new to me, and I wanted to learn more ahead of a professional development class we were offering. I'd like to introduce myself. In case you don't already know me, my name is Louisa Higgins, and I'm the Arts Administrator for Riverside County Office of Education. My arts superpowers are visual art and poetry. I grew up playing the piano and singing in choir through high school, but I'm no means an expert in music. Excuse me. Over the years, working with band and choir directors and supervising a musical theater conservatory, I heard much anecdotal evidence about how music affected literacy. Being in the presence of these two music superheroes inspired me to dig into the science behind how it's really true. So here's what I'm going to cover in my presentation. First, that music is closely tied to our emotions. This is probably self-evident, but important in noting the SEL aspects of music education. Secondly, that music has therapeutic aspects to it. Again, this relates to SEL and also mental health, which are both significant. Thirdly, I'm going to get into the specific ways that music affects the acquisition of literacy, and then you'll be able to tell all your friends about it too. Something I've really been fascinated by this year is the power of awe, A-W-E. Research has found that two of the very best ways to experience a state of awe is by one, being in the presence of nature, or two, by participating or being exposed to the arts. I would like to briefly mention the ingredients of music. Like I said, I'm not a music expert, so it was interesting to me to see the various components of music named and defined as they are. This may be helpful if I use these terms later on in the presentation. An analogy that I found interesting and amusing when I was doing my research was that the brain is a sort of mixing board, if you will. It kind of makes sense if you think about it, right? All of the sound-based information coming into our brains that the brain must then sort and make sense of. And one of the really big takeaways for me was about rhythm. It's absolutely tied to learning and socialization. I found this first video to be a lot of fun, and you can find more videos about Snowball if you go onto YouTube. Let's check it out. There you go. That's Snowball. Oops. So listening to music engages or actually wakes up certain parts of your brain with big names. And you can see them here on the screen. Our brain then hungers or thirsts for that engagement or that sensation that music creates. Not only does it wake up the brain or activate it, it actually creates feelings of pleasure. Dopamine is equivalent to an opioid. Music quite literally makes you feel high with good feelings. Even more interesting is how your body will sync up with the music. Your neurons will even start firing to match what is happening with the music. This is a fun fact that is impossible to forget. Conversely, music can have a very calming effect and help you slow down and release stress. Think of how spas play that very relaxing, slow tempo music without lyrics to help you calm down and get greater enjoyment out of their treatments. And if I was doing this in person, it would be a turn and talk. But since we're online, I want you to take a few moments to think about a time that music had a profound emotional effect on you. For example, these are two concerts I saw in the last year. At Jimmy Buffett, my husband literally wept, and at Stevie Nicks, I did. In each case, we were both overwhelmed with the positive emotions and good feelings evoked by the performances. Now I'd like to switch gears a bit and get into the ways that music can be used in a therapeutic or healing manner. As I mentioned before, music is able to activate very specific parts of our brains. Over the years, when researchers were trying to distinguish what separated us from other species, they discovered that there were two things, and they were both connected to music: ability to create and respond to it, and our ability to dance to the beat. Before we acquired language in any real way, we were able to articulate and gesticulate. So denote means it's a sign of, or it indicates with emotional expression. So denote before connote, which means to imply or suggest. So what could that mean for young learners and or second language learners? If music is a type of language, then it is based on feeling. Music in all its aspects is able to communicate in a non-logical but deeply felt way. To take that into a therapeutic setting, music can help the brain engage and regain lost abilities in connection with some serious diseases or disabilities. It has also been found to be helpful for persons with psychological disorders and children suffering from seizures. I found this example really fascinating. Most of us probably have some association with religious monks and chanting. They are well known for it. Well, what happens if you take that away from them? Turns out it was an essential component of their health and well-being. So again, if we were in person, we would turn and talk. So I would like to instead invite you to reflect to yourself about how music might be used in a therapeutic way in the world that you work in. One of the things that tends to happen in education is that we separate the subjects from each other. For instance, there's reading time, math time, science time, music time, and so on, as if they were never to be integrated or interact with each other. Let's explore how we might do things differently. Let me share a short clip about how children learn to read through sounds.
Children learn through sounds. At the very beginning, we give them the sounds. Phonemes, phonetics, all of that is important. So when we give them chocolate, bate, bate, we're giving them magic sounds. We're giving them rhythm. We're giving them tradition. So when we sing Los Pollitos, we're giving the kids something that probably they learn from their parents. And then that helps them with the self-esteem, helps them, with the sounds, learning sounds. And then with that, it helps, with the reading and the writing later on. So we promote literacy through music also.
Okay. Here's another fun fact. Our brains weren't necessarily designed to read. There are no centers of our brain for that, nor are there specified genes. Humans began to read about 5,000 years ago, and we did that by co-opting parts of our brains that used visual symbols for meaning. How it actually works is the reading brain, as we call it now, is composed of vision, we see letters and words, hearing, we hear the rhythms and sounds words make, and language, we use language to make meaning of those words. Playing music or singing is a parallel process to that. So vision, we hear the symbols, we see the symbols. Hearing, we hear the sound the symbol makes. Language, we anticipate what will come next. Music training improves the process of reading by attuning the learner to sound. From there, the learner can better understand phonemes or units of sound that make words. This starts very, very early, which is why we started with early childhood songs and the training that this was written for. Imagine if we began in preschool to teach children to learn patterns and coding future stimuli. I would be remiss if I did not include Dr. Nina Kraus, a scientist who has done groundbreaking research on this subject. She also addresses poverty and the power music has to help students overcome associated challenges. Language and music share the elements of pitch, timing, and timbre. The research shows that students who take music instruction become better at language. Music activates language, hearing, and rhythmic motor control. Because of the emotions involved, it also creates heightened conditions of awareness and mental acuity. Another benefit, and directly related to culturally relevant teaching, is the fact that music is beneficial in teaching cultural identity and awareness. In fact, when this pedagogy was first becoming known, I already knew that in the arts we have every opportunity to teach about cultural relevance at our fingertips. Here's another short clip featuring a teacher who successfully uses songs and chants to teach literacy to adult immigrants.
How long have you been living in America? I have been living in America. My name is Junselis Jedis. I go by Jedis. I am a teacher at the Immigrant Learning Center. Hey, the Immigrant Learning Center is a not-for-profit organization. It provides free classes for adult immigrants. The ILC's Public Education Institute informs Americans about the contribution of immigrants to our society. I use chants and songs in the classroom. In English, syntaxes are really difficult. By singing, chanting, it comes very easy and automatic for them. Here's a chant that I use in my classroom. I wake up, I take a shower, I brush my teeth, I comb my hair, I get dressed. I wake up, I take a shower, I brush my teeth, I comb my hair, I get dressed. In Haiti, I was a Montessori teacher. In 2010, I went to the Immigrant Learning Center, the ILC. I became a volunteer, and then I became a teacher in full position.
He's got a very engaging, exciting, lively way. He gets in there and he just gets the students up and smiling and laughing and really engaged, sitting on the edges of their seats.
Using songs and chants help my students with confidence. Being a mass literacy champion is, to me, it's an honor. With the Mass Literacy Champion grant, the project I would like to complete is to write songs for students or for the different schools that can help them to use in the different classrooms. Music is a powerful form of expression. And whatever country you are from, you feel really comfortable to express yourself with any languages in music and chants.
Another great video, and I love what he's doing with literacy and music and his teaching. So this is our final reflection. I'd like you to please consider one new learning you've had from this webinar today and how you might apply it in your teaching and in the classroom. And I'd like to close with this quote, which I thought appropriate to the day or to the event. Being a musician maps the human mind for success in all avenues of life. And I truly believe that to be true. So thank you for listening. And if you would like a copy of these slides, please email me your request to this address. And we'd love it if you followed our Instagram for all the latest news and events that we are doing in the arts at Riverside County Office of Education. And here are the articles that I used in researching this presentation, so you can check them out. There's also a book that I read by Dr. Nina Kraus, and here are the videos that are featured in this presentation. And finally, I'd like to give credit to Slides Carnival for these beautiful slides. So thank you, everyone. It's been a real pleasure.